Hey guys, Ralph here. True Power Trumpet Fitness. First thing in the morning, first thing, it's 11 o'clock. I'm ready to go. Kind of a busy morning. I did not work out this morning. I'll get to that in a second. And I did play a little bit, but I noticed that I have not played piccolo. And forget the YouTube. I haven't touched the piccolo in, I'm going to say, a month. So even though these are not the actual first notes today, these will be the first piccolo notes in a long time. So let's get to it, and we'll talk about one of the greatest natural resources to hit the trumpet world, John Faddis. Okay. That little tartini, probably not appropriate to play tartini when talking about John Faddis, but I can't do what Faddis does, so tartini will have to do. Anyway, that's the 1SS mouthpiece. It's just wide open. Anyway, one thing that's going to be on the other channel that I want to let you know, I'm going to ask you if you'd like to join me on Banana Island. Listen, at this time of year, allergies kick in very badly. At this time of year up in Connecticut, the leaves are falling, and that creates toxins and everything here that for some reason really get to me. I like to feel that my system is pure as the driven snow, but that absolutely gets to me. As you can see, my eyes are red. They get very puffy and whatnot. So I am going to eat nothing but raw fruits and vegetables for a week. Okay, and we'll see at the end of the week if it helps with the allergies. I know it will. I am not going to work out much because of the allergies. My energy's a little bit down and stuff like that. So I baby myself when this happens, and it happens every year. So it's like clockwork. And even though I am not working out, and I will be eating well over 3,000 calories of fruits and vegetables, I will lose weight. Okay, that's on the other channel. Anyway, Faddis, my lord. Lordy do. Anyway, yeah, he's about my age, mid-60s, right? And born in Oakland, California, and from what I can tell, if somebody wants to add some to this, and please do. This is a well enough known guy that you can add some comments down if you have any little nuggets about Faddis that you want to add. Born in Oakland, California, and from what I can say, a pretty prosperous family. This was not some inner city kid, even though Oakland can be tough. I mean, I believe his mother was a teacher. His father was some sort of a healthcare professional, I understand. So, yeah, he always had lessons in trumpets and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, what a talent. I mean, first of all, if you look closely, and we'll get to his chops in a minute, but check out this picture. If you look closely, you'll see there's quite a large space between his teeth. Okay? Cat Anderson had the same thing. Now, I never talked about it. I did play with him twice. I'll talk about that later. And at that time, I was just so intimidated by playing with him, I didn't go ask him anything about it. But I am almost 99% sure that tongue is filling up that gap in his teeth, and that is where he's compressing. I know Cat Anderson was doing that, and it doesn't mean Faddis is doing it. But, I mean, he is definitely compressed. He's not overblowing by any means, definitely compressed. And even though he doesn't do a lot of articulations and stuff, I have heard him articulate even multiple tongue enough that it sounds pure as can be, and I can only think that the tongue is through the teeth. I bet if not through the teeth, filling up that gap. Okay? Now, that gave him at a very early age, I'm talking mid-teens, legitimate double C's and beyond. But for the sake of argument, legitimate double C's when he was 14, 15 years old. And he had a crush on Dizzy. And now, along with the double C's, check this out for a gift from God. Okay, photographic memory, total musical recall. He could look one of Dizzy's solos and play it through once, turn the music over, and you can say, "Let me hear measure 7." I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And on top of that, perfect pitch. Now, how could a guy lose, right? Legitimate, well played, compressed double C's. As far as I know, he never had chop trouble. I'll get to that in a second. Never had chop trouble. And again, doing big time stuff from 14 years old up until mid 60s, and I haven't heard of one crash anywhere. Okay, total musical recall and perfect pitch. I mean, are you kidding me? Right? Are you kidding me? So anyway, graduates from high school, 18 years old, joins Lionel Hampton's band. Didn't go long. Did a brief tour with Charles Mingus. Lionel Hampton and Charles Mingus, man, that is some deep, deep jazz. Now, obviously, he was playing jazz with Mingo, the small group. Lionel Hampton, he was playing lead. So, lead or jazz, interchangeable. I mean, that's the talent. And again, he didn't do that long. I'm thinking a year or two at most. He was on the road and doing that, and he moved to New York. Okay, when he got to New York, he was lucky in a couple ways. First of all, he hooked up pretty early with Lou Soloff, and I understand Lou Soloff gave him a room in his apartment in Midtown. So here's this 20-year-old kid with all this talent, living with one of the top studio guys in the world, living in Midtown Manhattan, and the world is his oyster. Now, at that time, and again, he was about my age. Now, at that time, I was in college, so I knew this, phenom had come to New York and all this sort of stuff. But at that time, the lead players in the studios and whatnot were guys like Bob McCoy, Jimmy Maxwell, Bernie Glow, and everything. And these guys were lock solid G's above high C. That was it. And he comes in with all that G and a double C. So he was an instant star in the studios and made a fortune. Not fortune. I mean, he wasn't, Warren Buffett type fortune. But, at that time, back in the 70s, for a trumpet player to make $200,000, $400,000 a year, I mean, that was an astronomical amount of money back then. Okay? And from there, studios and jazz. He was on, I'm pretty sure he's still with Schilke. He's a medium and large bore trumpet and a small Schilke mouthpiece. I've seen him with many different mouthpieces, so it's not all the same, but they're all small. They are all small. But the chops guys are right. The chops are right. He does a thing, and check it out on YouTube. I don't know the name of the piece, and I should have checked it out before I got this, but he does a thing with one of the service bands with Bilger. They're both out front, and it was a modern piece, but it was very, classical technique type things. It was not a jazz thing by any means. And I'll tell you what, he sounds cleaner than Bilger. Bilger's a terrific player, but to my ear, sounds cleaner than Bilger. Very centered tone, very lyrical stuff, control, that type of thing came in with good, nice articulations. Man, what a talent. What a talent. Now, he is about my age, again, and I played with him twice. It was back in the early 80s, and I was in with a jingle company called North 40 Productions, okay? And they did some real nice stuff, Dawn Detergent and all that sort of stuff. And I was on 2 dates. I was playing third, Marvin Stam was second, and Faddis was first, okay? He doesn't remember me, trust me. He'd be polite if I went up and introduced myself, but it's not like we're buddies, okay? And very, very quiet. Now, I was a little dork that, he wasn't going to hang out and talk with me, but Stan was there and a handful of really heavyweights. And he just, I don't remember him saying a word. And these were an hour session twice. So I'm sitting 8 feet from him for 2 straight hours, 2 hours at different times. Hadn't heard him say a word. Very shy and Now, I'm sure he's different with their friends. Again, I was not his friend. But anyway, something to think about. Anyway, chops. Look at these chops. Now, first of all, when you just see him play, beautiful. There is no stretch anywhere. No stretch anywhere. Forget double C's. F's and G's above, and complete control. I mean, he's complete control of the horn to above double C. Okay? You notice the fat upper lip? You notice there's no stretch whatsoever in the corners. Beautiful, beautiful looking chops. Now, I did notice, we're both about the same age, so I'm going to say he was in his early to mid 30s. I noticed there was marks on his lip. Now, if you look closely at this, he's still got the marks on the lip. And back then, a trumpet player doesn't like to see that. Gee, I hope he's going to be all right. Now, obviously, it wasn't a big deal because I haven't heard of him once, and you hear about it. If John Faddis went to, the Newport Jazz Festival and crashed, chop-wise, you'd hear about it. You'd hear about it, especially with social media the way it is. And I haven't heard of it once. And again, I was doing some studio stuff, so through the grapevine and everything. If Faddis went into a studio thing, and was spitting air all over the place, you'd hear about it. I never heard of it once. So obviously, the marks on his lip are obviously not a big deal. I don't know what he has to go through to warm up. Probably not much. The beauty of compression. Anyway, do yourself a favor. If you're not privy to Faddis's playing, listen to it. Even if it's not your cup of tea. The technical part of the trumpet is unparalleled. So much better than Winton. I mean, it's please. Anyway, so that's it. Live your life with true power. I will see you again tomorrow. Listen to a little Faddis. Comments and criticisms down below. And yeah, he's a real genius and virtuoso. And let's appreciate him while he's with us. Anyway, love you all. Live your life with true power.